We are live on Bucs Report and Sports Talk Florida for the aftermath. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the dude and Slick over there live from the United Kingdom. I'm live from your favorite state, Florida.
Florida.
And by the way, who dat? That would be we dat. That's all I got to say about that. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this live stream because, one, we know, just like quarterback Tom Brady, you people were throwing your phones, your tablets, your beers, I don't know, your girlfriends at the wall during that first half. It was very frustrating. We get it. And that's why we're here. We're here to help you, to let you blow off some steam. But more importantly, we're here to troll the Saints fans. So, Slick, while I go ahead and get this link shared out to a couple of the fine ladies and gentlemen out there in the Twitter sphere, why don't you give us a real quick, let's say 30-second recap of what you thought the game was. I will be back. Uno momento, por favor.
Yes, sir. All right. So your Tampa Bay Buccaneers went into the Caesar Dome, did a number. It was frustrating to begin with. We had a coaching blunder on fourth down. You decide to go for the 4th and 1 when you can tie the game with a field goal. You could tie the game with a field goal, and you go for a 4th down. You're that scared that the Saints are going to come back in this game. You kick the points when the points are on offer. You kick the points when you're down. And you're down big, then you start going for the jugular. That's when you need to start slitting throats and getting down there and stand on someone's neck and squeeze the air out of them. But this was not the time. This was get that scoreboard ticking, get a bit of confidence going, good drive. How do you come off on a fourth? How does the offense feel when you come off on a fourth down? They come off on a 4th down stop deep inside their opponent's half when they could have got 3 points. I would say deflated, but that's obvious. But disappointed is nonetheless. That's the thing with this Buccaneers football team. We need to figure out how to play smart football at the smart times. There was some dumb football in there, and I would say those comes at a bit of coaching decision there, because that was a coaching decision. Tom Brady did not say, let's go for it. I'm 100% sure of that. I'm pretty sure that was a coaching decision, and that was the wrong decision. You take the damn points. Coach Bowles, I know you watched this. I know you sat there with a nice cognac. He's got himself a Henny right now. He's probably a stogie in one hand, and he's there like, let's check out what Uncle Slick's got on the go. And Uncle Slick says, Bowles, I love you. I respect you. But take the damn points, brother. Your kicker is decent. He's no like Greg the Leg Zerline. He ain't going to be Justin Tucker. He's not X, Y, and Z, but it will get you those points. So you take them when they're on offer. Okay? You take them. Later on in the game, we get a little bit of a scuffle. Tempers are flaring. This battle's going back and forth. It is like a Titanic arm wrestle. No one's budging an inch. No one's got that Cobra clutch going in yet. It's not going down until it does go down. Some words get said. And what happens? Mike Evans comes flying in, puts Marshall Lattimore on his ass again, and then again, and again. Because when they showed the highlight reels of this rivalry, it was just videos of Mike Evans taking his frustrations out on Marshall Lattimore, who, let's face it, has been Mike Evans' kryptonite, so to speak, throughout the games. But at the same time, it was kind of funny to see that every time those two had an altercation, it involved Marshall Lattimore dick it in the dirt. So you take what you can get. It resulted in both of them being ejected. I completely agree with that. I think there's no harm. I think that was probably the smartest call. Take the most two fiery people off the field. It was a little bit iffy for Leonard Fournette. He could have been, because he kind of instigated the whole thing, because there was only words being said. He was the first person to make an actual move, so to speak. I did feel for Chris Olave later in the game when they were trying to come back. But as Raul said, I was like, I'd have given that. I think that would have been fine. I think that's a catch. And then they explained it. I really thought hard about this. And I'm like, well, actually, yeah, he isn't touched. So the reason the ball pops out is because he fell on the floor before anyone touched him. And that's his own fault. The ball popped out. It's not a forced fumble. I would call it an unforced error. And yes, Ben Corner, I do look like Jim Carrey. I mean, my hair's not quite as wild as that, but we're ready to go, baby. Woo-hoo!
We're rocking and rolling. It's the aftermath here live on Bucs Report Sports Talk Florida. We appreciate what? Huh?
Are you celebrating?
Am I celebrating?
Are you celebrating?
I'm impersonating a Saints fan. See my crying Jordan face?
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Well,
so I'm polarized. I'm locked in. I can't see nothing but Bucs. But nothing but Bucs.
Absolutely. So we got the comment section going. We appreciate that. Hey, welcome to the show, Jason Swade, Charles Donahue, Ben Cornett, and real quick, Slick. You know what's better than me and you on screen at the same time?
I have no idea. What's better than that?
Me, you, and Marty on the screen at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Eminem and Marty, or we're going to call him Eminem.
Get my damn camera here.
Damn
it. Okay, there we go.
I'm going to have to take some motion sickness pills, Marty.
I'm doing it outside. Hey, guess what I'm eating right now? Hey, Saints fan.
Gumbo. A W.
How's that W? How's that W? How's that W, Jameis? How is it? Freaking turnover machine. Yes. Finally nice to beat him in the regular season. Finally, like The Rock would say, finally, we have defeated the Saints in the regular season. And it feels nice.
And can we just point out, we know there won't be a lot of Saints fans tuning in. But if you happen to catch the Saints fan, let me remind you of something, okay? Every time Marshawn Lattimore has a bad game or is struggling, he starts doing stupid, chippy crap.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Every time he does, Mike Evans comes over and blasts him upside the head. It happened back when Jameis Winston was quarterback. It happened again today. And here's what I'm going to say. Marshawn Lattimore, you skinny little twit. Why would you bow up on Leonard Fournette? Leonard Fournette will eat your children like Mike Tyson, bro.
Yes.
So what I want to do while I got you three on the screen here, or you three, you
Cannibal
two.
Lenny. It's Cannibal Lenny.
I want to make sure you guys realize this show is called The Aftermath, and on this show, it's no holds barred. In the comment section, bring it. You guys on the screen, bring it. If you guys got a hair in your ass anywhere watching, we'll drop the link. You can come on and you can join us. If you're a Saints fan and you have the testicular fortitude, we're going to go ahead and drop, like I said, the link to join us. Get on here. Hold that W while we eat it. Okay?
Yes.
That's all I got to say for now, gentlemen.
Saints fans, as soon as you get out of Walmart to buy all the damn tissues for your crying Jordan memes and shit, come down here, come on our show, and actually take this fucking L. It's been a long time coming. Y'all always talk shit. Y'all take cheap shots. Be a man and come on this show and take it on the chin. It's well deserved.
Right. We celebrating. They celebrate.
And speaking of who I refer to as the godfather of trolling on the Facebook app, and I'm sure he's just as good on Twitter and YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, join the show now. It's a four-way. Well, I won't say the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, from the NFL edition, Marty McKnight's co-host, we are bringing on the man, the myth, the legend, Ben Cornett.
Dude.
Wait, am I supposed to say sweet now?
Slick, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. I'm waiting for Johnny to come in because he wants to troll my British ass, my drunk British ass. So fuck him.
Alrighty. Oh, how's it going, gentlemen?
It is going.
Drinking, talking football, drinking beer.
What else would I?
Wait a minute. Did we just get a visit from Jeff Dunham's? What was this? Billy Ray or whatever the hell his name is?
No, it's Bubba J.
Bubba J. Hey, speaking of J.
Bubba J.
No, I won't go there quite yet on the show. I would love to hear some more Bubba J.
That's all I can do right now.
That's all you got, huh?
Give him a minute. You gotta warm up. Get nice and warm like an oven. He's not oven ready. He's got to preheat.
I'm not going to be on too long. I got obligations, but I decided to jump in for a little bit and wreak havoc.
That's what she said.
Obligations? That word just rolled off your tongue, didn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Marty, are you in a jacuzzi or something, dude? Looks like you're.
I'm outside. I'm sitting on the bench. Okay. We got a W day. I'm doing awesome, man. How about you?
I'm joining him. I'm out here on the back porch. Got me one ready to light up a victory cigar. Because New Orleans Saints fans, Jameis Winston, over here in Florida, we don't eat a W. We smoke a Saint, bro.
Exactly.
How's Ben? How's the vibe in Las Vegas after what's happened today?
Kind of devastating right now, man. I mean, this team was expected to not only make the playoffs but do some stuff in the postseason. And these two games, man, I got to tell you, like, today they had a big lead. In the fourth quarter, they let Kyler Murray come back and run all over their defense. And Hunter Renfrow had a couple of fumbles, one in regulation and one in overtime.
Yeah, that
pretty much cost him the game. So right now they're 0-2 and not very happy right now, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, they had that game and they pulled Atlanta Falcons and just choked it away.
Yeah.
What it is. It is what it is. But hey, guys, what's your biggest takeaway? But your biggest takeaway is Jameis Winston, isn't it? He's still baking them down.
Well, that and Lattimore being a fucking idiot like he is every time he plays us.
No, my biggest takeaway was our defense.
Oh, yeah.
Our defense.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, they scored 3 points in the first quarter. Then they scored the Cowboys scored 3 points in the first quarter. It could have been the Bucs have given up 6 points in 2 games.
Hey, speaking of the Cowboys, I want to jump in here on the Cowboys real quick. I'm sorry, Ben. I'll let you go off here in a minute. Hey, Cowboys fans, how much y'all paid Dak Prescott? And now let me ask you a question. How much of that are you going to give to this backup quarterback that obviously looked better than Dak Prescott against the defending AFC champions? Hey, with Dak, you scored 3 with this Cooper Cup Rush, Jack Rabbit, whatever the hell his name was. What was his name? Sterling, something, right, that guy. Or Copper Pale. Was it Copper Pale? Cooper Manning?
Joe Dirt, maybe? Yeah.
Cooper.
Hey, Dallas, we see you celebrating like you won the Super Bowl, but here's what it is. We realize Dallas fan gets real excited about being 500.
Yeah.
That's all they're used to. They're used to being relevant because they won Super Bowls in the 90s, just like Notre Dame fans. And yes, I'm a Notre Dame fan. So
I want to give a shout out to the guy who was on my show last night who said he trusted in Cooper Rush. So I'm a little hats off to you, brother, because he was like, "Don't panic, don't go and get somebody. Cooper Rush will be fine. Go for it." And I was like, "Okay, I respect your bollocks on that." And he doubled down and he got what he wanted out of it. So take it easy. I'll give him his due. He is not an obnoxious Cowboys fan because he's British. He doesn't know how to be an asshole yet. He'll get there.
Not yet.
He'll get there.
Give him my email. I'll hook him up. Hey, you know what's so funny? I am such an asshole. They literally Donald Trump me on Facebook. I'm kicked off. I can't open a Facebook account with my IP address. So,
shit.
Your IP address. You can't even just log.
So Saints fans, bring it. I can take it. You know what I can take? I can take the trash talk. You want to know why, Saints fans? I have a chin better than Marshawn Lattimore's. Okay.
After fucking Mike Evans got through, it's probably looked like fucking mashed potatoes.
He put Marshawn Lattimore on his ass, and then another guy went to have it, and he just got hold of him. Like, I'm going to take your soul and bless you with my hand and put you in the ground too. So get off me. He was like, he went to one guy, put his dick in the dirt. Then another guy went, "No, how do you dare come onto my demon? Get the fuck out of here, you pussy!" And it took like 2 guys to drag his ass down.
Hey, everybody watching! You see that comment on the screen? that link in the comment, that is what we call the testicular fortitude checker. Okay? If you have balls, click that link and join us and get on here screen with us, and let's see if you can hang.
I want to see
He said
Jason
hang.
play, but I don't think he'll show.
No,
Well,
Mike.
I thought you were going to do a striptease.
When Mike Evans took down Lattimore, it sounded like that song in the background, like "Bitch, move out of the way." Move, bitch, get out the way. He was like a man on a fucking mission.
There's just
Mike-
it's just bad blood straight and through between those two. It's a good rivalry. It's fun to watch. I mean, it's entertaining.
Oh my God! They need to do a parody song together. Taylor Swift, "Bad Blood."
You
That'll be awesome.
You can see it down the line, and you know what? That might be my next reel. Bad blood between these, just like all the highlights of them hooking up and pissing each other off. I don't think the music will go well with it though. We'll figure some shit out. But I can just see these guys like talking like 20 years from now, sat down, they're going, "I hated you." Yeah, I hate you too. And they're actually kind of cool with each other.
Shit, I see them still fighting in a nursing home. What you talking about? They're both probably 80 years old in a nursing home together, and they're probably still both swinging each other with canes.
Hey, is it just me, or does everybody get a smile on their face when, Tom Brady's portrayed in the media and his persona on social medias? He's the all-American, good old, guy, the one you want your daughter to go to prom with and all that.
Yeah,
but it's so satisfying to see him on camera going, "Fuck you, motherfucker!"
Yes.
Woo!
By the way,
Ric Flair shouted out Mike Evans on Twitter for that.
I noticed that. Yeah, it's like finally when Brady come to Tampa Bay, he could finally be Brady. He turned into the typical Florida man now. He's now the Florida man. Thank you, Brady. Just don't wrestle an alligator.
He done tussle with an alligator. He gonna done tussle with an alligator. That's gonna happen.
I wouldn't go that far, Don. Jordan did have a sack, I think, today. He did play pretty good.
Charles Donahue, the comment here. Cam Jordan was a non-factor, which is funny because he was talking and doing a lot of whining in their post-game press conference. Here's what Cam Jordan basically said, and I'll paraphrase. "That mean old Mike Evans came over and sucker punched Marshawn Lattimore, and we don't think that's fair." Well, guess what? You know what we don't think is fair? That you people who live in New Orleans still get, the same say in everything that we do. Hey, we've heard, we don't like certain fan bases. Dude, I would be so happy if New Orleans would move to like the XFL or the USFL, because there, Jameis, you can throw 3 interceptions and win.
Yeah, or maybe the people in New Orleans, team and fans, can go actually take a shower in the shower, not in the swamp water, and not smell like stinky douchebags.
Okay, we are 18 minutes and 27 seconds into the show before we got our stinky douchebag comment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Ben.
Yo.
I know you've got some thoughts. Let's give Ben the floor here for a little bit. Why? Because, Ben's special.
Well, I appreciate
Ben,
that.
you are now Facebook Live.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so, in the game, let's face it, the first half was just both defenses played really well. You got to give both teams credit for that. Offenses didn't move that at all. Although I think the Bucs had a couple chances there to score. That's been a problem the first couple days, games, the red zone. But I don't know about you guys, but I love when games are like this because I love defense. I love when a defense can dominate a game. And I felt that's what we've done the last 2 games. We've dominated Dallas and New Orleans. Now, the score may not look like it today, but we shut them down. We shut them down, guys. I mean, Carlton Davis shut him down. He shut down Michael Thomas. Jamel Dean was playing out of his mind. Shaq Barrett and Devin White this is probably Devin White's best game I've seen him play. So, I mean, to me, I love this right now. I don't care what anybody says. I love when a defense can dominate an opponent for 4 quarters.
You got it. You guys, and everybody, I know everybody on the screen realizes this, but realize who the Buccaneers did not have today.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, and then realized they lost their starting left tackle who was filling in for the actual starting left tackle. And then they lost Mike Evans. And it's so funny because, Bucs fans are like, oh, Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean are trash. How many times have you heard that all offseason? Oh, my God, why did we keep them? This coaching staff is stupid. Dude, do you realize that Carlton Davis is arguably one of the most physical defensive backs in the league? If you watch him every route, he's like a thorn in the side. There's so many other words I have for it, but it's been a long day. Let's just say this. Hey, Bucs fans, it's time you support and respect Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, Carlton Davis is top 5 most weeks, and even on his bad weeks, he's top 10 in a corner in the NFL. This game reminded me today, Slick, Ben, and Dude, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong on this. This game today reminded me of the 1970, 1980 smash mouth defensive football. Just like getting punched in the mouth. It's just old school football. This is like, for anybody that watched football when they're, back in the old days, this is like a throwback to those kind of games. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to piggyback off something that you've also touched on this, Mike. That I agree, the whole defensive football thing's great, but you just want that little bit more breathing room than being a score ahead. That, I think, they're the games that, when you look at them in conclusion, they're fantastic because it's so much tension built up in you. There's so much like riding on it, so it can change it. The game's on a knife edge. They're fun to watch, but they're fucking they fuck with your nerves a little bit. So for me, I kind of just wanted the game with a little bit more space, and then once we got that space, then I started to feel a little bit more comfortable. But piggyback on what you guys did, the defensive football, it's underrated because we had that Rams Patriots Super Bowl where no one really put up points and everyone said it was boring. It was a dull affair. But if you like your defense, it was a good game to watch, and this was a good game to watch. Mm-hmm. You've got to see two teams trying to run the football, trying everything in their power to muster some yards here and there, and it worked out for the Bucs in the end, but could have gone either way, and I think that's always been the argument here.
Defense wins championships.
Yeah, you want to know something? Like, real quick, I want to piggyback what I said. The reason why I also like defensive type games is because for so many years now, it's been offensive heavy. You know what I mean? Because the defensive rule changes and everything. Now we're seeing bigger scores and everything. So this is really refreshing, and especially with our team, to see a defense that can dominate for 4 quarters. And it does get on your nerves a little bit if you don't have that breathing room. But still, I'd rather have that. Maybe I'm just in the minority, but I'd rather have
I agree.
High scoring games.
I agree with you, Ben. I think what I was trying to iterate at that point was at the time. At the time, it makes you really tense. It's full of tension and stuff, and because the game can go either way. It makes you really nervous, and that nervous can lead to like a little bit of stress. Mm-hmm. In retrospect, when you look at it from after the math, it is a fantastic game because that ecstasy you get when you do win. I mean, there's a video of me doing the boat, so we know how I got excited. So it was just one of those for me. It was just the defensive battle, the defensive backs just putting it up. And one thing that we've always had from Buccaneers fans is this defensive secondary isn't good enough. Well, you know what, Bucs fans that don't like our defensive secondary, you are wrong.
Well, I would almost argue that was a better fight tonight than what we've seen on any recent pay-per-views. But that's just me, I'm a hater.
Now you're a realist. It's different.
Well, with the offense,
the fight was not that good last night. I watched it, and it was not that good. You're right. Today's fight was better.
Well, with the offense, the lack of scoring, you got to think about the depleted offensive line. Russell Gage not really playing. He didn't play any preseason games. Was hurt like week 2 of training camp. Brady taking 11 days off. It's just we haven't had really the time to. Yeah, we haven't had the time to actually gel I give it about week 5 to week 6, and we're going to start putting up some more points. This is going to be a work in progress.
I'm going to pop something in here that some people might not like, and I'm going to. Dude, you said just let it all hang out. So those who wondered why Rashad Perriman was kept on this football team, do you know why? That's why.
Who?
Rashad Perriman.
Oh yeah.
People, when we had the wide receiver core and everyone was like, oh well, Jared did this and this guy that and this, and I said it's who Tom Brady wants. Why did we keep Rashad Perriman? He did nothing in the preseason. You know why we kept him? Because of today. Because he can do that.
Well, was kind of like Scotty Miller. I mean, he's there for basically special team at this point, but Brady sees something in him. There's potential, but
I called that.
He's got one route.
They wanted to keep him. Tom Brady wants Scotty Miller. Now I will say this: he struggled today. Scotty struggled bad.
Yeah.
Scotty Miller's that younger brother that tags along with the cool kids and his older brother. Nobody really wants him there, but for some reason he keeps hanging out. I will say this: if you watch 3 or 4 of those routes he ran, and that you can see Brady kind of, I won't say yelling, but correcting him. He's running that out pattern with a round on the top of the route instead of a hard right turn or left turn to the sideline. Brady throws it a hard turn, and he's doing this rainbow route at the top, and that's not going to cut it. Now, what I will say is, what Scotty Miller brings to the table, he stretches the defense and takes at least one defensive guy out of the play every time, right? Yeah. But here's the thing: he came in handy today. But let's be honest, when we had one of the wide receivers or two, we had Godwin and Julio Jones last week, Scotty Miller didn't even dress out. Mm-hmm. So the Bucs were basically beating the Saints today offensively with guys who last week at the same time during game time were wearing T-shirts and shorts. So, hey, Saints, how'd that feel?
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
I know that pick 6 was nice. Those turnovers. God, hey, Jameis, I love your bakery. I'm glad you reopened it for us because those turnovers was delicious. Turnovers with beer was awesome today. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hey, you guys have heard how when rookies come in the league, they get that welcome to the NFL moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saints fans just got the welcome to the Jameis Winston saga today.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And just to commemorate our lovely victory over the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans, this Buccaneers football club is 2-0 on the road, baby. We ain't even got home yet. We get to sleep in some nice beds. We're eating dubs. And Saint fans? Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Again.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I have a little... Hey, Sean Payton. Sean, what happened to all this crap you was talking this morning on NFL pregame? I literally made a couple of jokes about how you was... I gotta clean my language, but how you was like, had stuff on the side of your...
This is late.
Is it okay to...
late show.
Is it really okay to say what I'm about to say?
Let it rip.
Okay. Dude. Sean, you was sucking the cock of the Saints so damn hard you needed a towel, Deshaun Watson's towel, to wipe your face this morning. How do you feel now? You literally was riding their asses all day long, and then you get beat, and it's like, I don't remember saying none of that.
All righty then.
Like, he has some serious Jimmy Dean Saint sausage in his mouth this morning.
Are you saying that Sean Payton can suck a satchel of Richards?
The man can suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Basketball for a garden hose.
Yes, he can suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Anybody else feel like Sean Payton cut Marty McKnight off in traffic at one point?
Probably. Yeah, probably. Hey, Mark Ingram said he doesn't like people who drive slow, so I reckon Marty McKnight purposely drove in front of him and just slowed down with the middle finger in the back, just going.
Okay, hold on one second. I drive a Dodge, so that means it has to be running long enough for that to happen.
You can slow down on purpose, though, right?
Well, unless the transmission blows out.
What I'm saying is, Marty, good old Mark Ingram the third or second, I don't know, whatever the fuck. He driving. He don't like people who are slow, and you know this. So you just went into that fast lane and you just cruised up his ass. So he was like,
if I know it's Mark, if it's Mark Ingram, I'm brake checking his ass.
Exactly. So that's where his frustrations come from. It all comes from Marty McKnight, big gentleman.
Guilty as charged.
Hey, at least they played it, and of course, the best.
Look at that.
April Fool's, right?
Ooh,
That's
shade.
an awesome picture right there. I think the only time that Saints fans can actually see their team winning the Super Bowl is when they turn off the Xbox. That's the only way you're seeing
video
one.
game systems are available, by the way.
If you want to see your team win, go buy an Xbox.
Hey, yeah, I know that was a good comment. Hey, Jason Swade, that comment was smooth. Let me. Okay, Cam Jordan, you're pretty fucking annoying, bro. You were quiet all day. You had a couple tackles. You did a lot of dancing. You did a lot of trash talking. You've done a lot of commercials. But let me ask you a question, dude. When you guys win, you guys dance around like a bunch of schoolgirls in your locker room on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. But when you lose, you go straight to a microphone and start crying like a schoolgirl. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start a GoFundMe account to buy a grown man-sized schoolgirl outfit for Saints defender Cam Jordan. Cam, if you got a hair on your ass, you'll wear it.
I'll tell you what, I like that because you know what? I appeal to all Buccaneers fans now. Let's put this pledge out there. $1. Just $1. Give me $1. We will send it to the Saints facility with Cam Jordan's name on it. And we'll get a received receipt that his ass took the package.
I got one.
He definitely took the package.
That's all I need.
I got one better.
$1.
I got one better. Why don't we just send every Saints player a box of tampons?
Because we don't have that much money. Every Saints player, you got 50. How do you know how much a box of tampons cost?
Hey, the way the Buccaneers got in that ass of the Saints today, they don't make tampons that big, bro.
Butt plugs.
What's that big old dildo?
Dude, I'm just waiting for another comment from Jason when you said that. You know,
yeah, there we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
You know, and here's the thing. The first thing my mind goes to is, so your ears and your nose? Ew. I mean, is that why the specialists are ears, nose, and throat specialists? Oh, that's what you are, Jason.
I'll tell you what, do you guys have that thing in, we have this thing in the UK where they teach kids body parts. It's called head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Do you have that?
Is that called the Catholic Church?
Oh, nice.
Who knows, but there you go. But no, you go head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and then he goes eyes, and this is all the orifices, you know what I'm saying? He's pointing like, this one. Dicks in every hole, baby.
Hashtag orifices.
Oh, Ben, you need to come on camera and drink with us.
No, I'm good right now, bro.
See, Ben right now is in his.
I reckon Ben's doing something. I reckon Ben's like building
I'm trying the Ray,
and
I
shit.
got the Ray Kennedy crop top thing going, but I don't want to scare anyone.
Oh,
Ooh, that's
he's probably watching porn right now.
Don't you tease me
Hey,
like
Chris.
that.
What's up,
Ben's in his underground bunker right now because. Oh, dude, I don't want to see your tits. Ben's in his underground bunker.
Damn! I thought Ben's gonna look like Walter White in his Walter Whitey tighties.
Well, Ben's in that underground bunker because the Raiders lost and here is in Las Vegas, so they're gonna burn down. They're gonna burn down the Roomba. I mean, Raiders Stadium.
Roomba
sniffing cocaine off Hooker's tits. That's what I've seen Ben Ben's life is.
Hey, did you guys see how the Rams were down like 27-3 and tried to reverse the whole 28-3 narrative?
Yeah.
Do you know why it didn't happen? Because you don't have Tom Brady, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They got 0-2 now then.
No, they're 1-1.
Yeah, they're 1-1. The Rams won. The Falcons is 0-2.
Oh well. Can't win everyone.
What's up, Chris?
Especially the Falcons.
Smoke break. Sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, look at there. Hey, you see that? We have 5 people watching right now, right?
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and do a Sesame Street thing here. 5 Saints turnovers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dude, I'm only halfway through my bowl, bro.
This little piggy got a pick six. This little piggy took it to the 20. This little piggy won the Bucs game.
And this little piggy cried because they lost. Oh.
See, you have that over there. So I was like, I go to the cards with home. And this little Cam Jordan went wee 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 wee, and he cried all the way home.
Now I'm craving bacon.
Cam, you're crying like a little bitch. Is it your time of the month? Do we want to talk about it?
This segment brought to you by Massengill. Massengill. For that fresh feeling after a Bucs ass whooping.
That's good. You just reel these off, dude.
This segment sponsored by KY Jelly because the Bucs done fucked that ass.
Okay, here's what's going to happen.
I don't know if they're popular or even recognized.
Poor Jason's got it.
Yeah, you're going to give Jason some more ideas.
Oh,
yeah. He's got to clean the screen off again.
Yeah.
Jason Swade.
Dude, keep talking dirty.
It's like a Bond name, isn't it? It's like, the name's Jason.
Jason Swade. You know it's really bad on Swade, right, Jason? Sorry.
Giggity.
Spunk and Swade do not go together, I can tell you.
I gotta find me a cigarette.
Jason's over here. Yeah, Jason's over here. Back. Monica Lewinsky.
Don't step on my blue suede shoes. It was don't come on my blue suede shoes.
Did Marty go into a time portal?
No, I'm trying to find a cigarette.
He's looking for Jason right now.
Here you go. This is what we call entertaining. Ready? Boom. That's awesome.
Ben's got his name on it. Did he fake his own death? Memorial fucking benches. I'm sure. No. Yeah, you got a memorial bench. That's a fucking memorial bench. I want a memorial bench. Why can't I have a memorial bench? Dude, we need to get me a memorial bench.
Okay. Sure.
I demand a memorial bench. You know who does demand a memorial bench?
These nuts.
Cam Jordan and his Saints. I think the GoFundMe, we should go to a park in St. Petersburg or in downtown Tampa and make the Cam Jordan Saints ass whooping bench. You guaranteed to enjoy your sit down.
That's interesting. I kind of like that idea.
You know what? I don't even think it costs that much money. Marty, what do you think? Let's put money together. Let's make a little charitable donation, if you will, to having a little bench put in downtown Tampa Park. The time that the Saints got that ass whooped.
I think we need to raise money to send Cam Jordan to Dr. Phil. It seemed like he's got some emotional.
Fuck Cam Jordan. He can have a bench in his honor, and he can sit there and watch people fucking it, or a homeless person sleeping it. I don't give a shit.
Or 2 homeless people getting it on it too. You know,
and then whatever. After. Why not? Double whammy, double down.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Double down, Jason. There's so many Jason references here, dude. Hey, Jason, I bet you kill it on Friday the 13th, huh? See? I can be right, too.
I heard he's got a chopper, so...
He's got a chopper. No, he just got really sharp teeth. Yes, Teresa, welcome to the Aftermath. You're more than welcome to join the show. Jump on via the StreamYard link. Don't be shy. If you're shy.
It's end up being the fucking afterbirth.
Hey, could you imagine being Tyrann Mathieu and being less significant in the game?
Yeah.
Oh my God! No, right?
I got a better one for you. Tyrann Mathieu goes to the locker room, gets himself undressed, puts his suit on or whatever he wears, and goes up to Todd Bowles and Todd Bowles turns around. I'm the daddy now. And then he goes back to his wife and she said, "What did my dad do to you?" And he went, "Told me to call him daddy. He's now my daddy. He's actually my daddy." For those of you who don't know, Tyrann Mathieu is married to Bowles' daughter.
Yeah, I love to see that conversation Tuesday or
That's
Wednesday.
an interesting because there was talk of us potentially getting him to come to Tampa. So they can you just imagine going, "I told you, I fucking told you."
I'll tell you what,
that thing's ass.
Logan Ryan was a better impact in the game than fucking Matthew was.
But would he have been a better impact than Tyrann Mathieu in that system? We don't know, but that's irrelevant. The job got done.
Yeah, I was messing around. Did you like that? I got dizzy.
I felt like I was on the fucking Hollywood squares for a second. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Hey, does anybody else wonder, is Kyler Murray really an adult? I mean, is he not really just 12?
Oh, you can see my shit.
Did they have to hem up his football pants a little bit?
Do you know how much fun it was to see him run around the field today?
That fucking 2-point conversion should never exist. Like, I mean, oh my gosh. I had to stop. My wife was loving life because she's got him in the fantasy team because I told her to go get him. And I was like, "Yeah, you'll get you some fantasy points. You'll be right." She's like, "You're right. This motherfucker keeps winning." And I'm like, "Yeah, you might not win, but he'll get you some points.
He'll get to the playoffs and do something stupid."
Yeah. That don't matter because fantasy football's done by then.
Actually, I don't know if he'll get to the playoffs in that division this year, will he? Kyler Murray and the Cardinals?
Everyone's tied up 1-1 in that
division. Yeah, right. It's an ass division this year. So, I mean, we're talking, but
yeah, I'm not impressed with the Rams right now. I'm just not.
No, I think we're seeing Matt Stafford come back to earth.
The Buccaneers didn't have a Super Bowl hangover. We had it the first time we won the Super Bowl, and we had the Super Bowl hangover. This year, we were dialed in because we had the GOAT. The GOAT went, "Fuck the fucking hangover, let's go." We had a little stutter, and we got it right. This year, we're dialed in. I like it. But those fucking Rams...
Yeah, they're not
thinking,
not
"Oh
impressive.
my God, wasn't that parade so great? Oh, we got to watch a person fall down. Great."
Yeah.
I'm done with that shit. Like they need to sort themselves out, like big time, because it's a long way forward. It only gets harder.
The good news is we're going into week 3 and no one's taken their clothes off and walked off the field yet.
That's a good thing. We're not pulling an Antonio Brown.
Although Jason, you know you've got that Antonio Brown stripping his uniform off on a loop, right?
For sure. For sure. Jason Swade has that on a loop listening to some weird ass fucking psychedelic music. It's just him and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, Jason's the kind of guy that sits on... Yeah, Jason's the kind of guy that sits on a glow stick and feels enlightened.
That's a good one.
You know what's cool? We haven't been kicked off the air yet.
You know what? Because we don't give a shit.
Nope. No fucks given right now.
All right. Hey, we're live on Bucs Report Sports Talk Florida. This is the Aftermath. Where all you pansies out there who talked all that smack the first half. Todd Bowles is an idiot. Byron Leftwich is a joke. Tom Brady's washed up. This defense sucks. It's time for you to come on the screen and, I don't know, grab some ankles, buddy.
Let's have a little talk about Todd Bowles and his first his coaching. You have to admit that not kicking the points was a bit of a dumb idea. I mean, it didn't bite him in the ass, but it was a stupid idea, right?
I think it depends on game situation. Me, myself, I would have went for it, but I wouldn't have ran that play. If you watch how the Saints were playing, that play, they literally had 10 of 11 guys in or within a yard of the box. You had been pounding the rock left, right, and up the middle. So you should come in on fourth down, get in the jumbo formation with 2 tight ends, look like you're going to run, fake it, and do that little Gronkowski rollout, sneak out tight end through the traffic, and just a jump ball touchdown.
You're talking about something in retrospective that might have worked and may not have worked. So what I'm going with is, would you have done the call as it is, or would you kick the point?
If I'm that deep and I have confidence in my defense, I'm going for it on fourth instead of kicking, because I feel like in Tom Brady's mind, and therefore it transposes through the offensive mentality, of getting to the red zone and kicking a field goal is a failure.
But what isn't surely failing on fourth down is a bigger kick in the teeth and a bigger mindset when you're going against a team that has had our number for the last 3 years. So for me, I'd take the points. They're on offer. They're there. You take them. You tie the game. Great. Fantastic. And then you can keep just chipping away. You can keep doing more. When the points are on offer, you take the fucking points. It's
Can I respond?
We're desperate.
Can I respond to Jason?
Go ahead.
I want to respond to Jason's comment on the screen. Yes, Jason, I can tell you. Why? Because I'm smart enough to look at the freaking lollipop and taste it before I stick it there. See how that works? Jason, guess what? Your name is Suede, but you are not smooth. From what I hear, you're more of a bear.
What about you, Mike? Would you have gone for it, or you kick the point?
I agree with Keith. If you're gonna go for it, I mean, you got Brady there. He's like, he can audible and change the play. Like
but he was there.
Guys
he
at
did
the box.
So this is the question. I'm going on what was called. He can change the play, so he didn't change the play. He felt that play was good enough. Tom Brady thought that was a solid enough play. That's a fact.
I think if you don't want to audible, if you see all that people in the box and on the line, you call a timeout and just kick the field goal.
I agree. What about you, Ben?
I'd go for it. I mean, again, you got Tom Brady. You got Tom Brady as your quarterback, and you have a good offense. Now, I know you don't have a great offensive line because Donovan's out, and you've got kind of a couple rookies there, but still. I mean, you could put 2 tight ends on each side to block,
Let me dial back a little bit for a second here, because I get where you're going with this, but you wipe off the pick 6. What was that? We won by 20-10, right?
20-10, yeah.
So we wiped 7 points off the board because pick sixes aren't a guarantee. The whole game changes every time you do something, right? And that's the complexity of football. But we're talking about offensive power right now. The offense really mustered, 13 points? Is that fair assessment?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's depleted offensive line, too.
I mean, exactly, and this is my point I'm going with, guys. It's just like you're staring down the barrel of a gun, and you have the opportunity to take points while they're on offer. You take the freaking points, especially against the Saints team. That we laid a goose egg the last time because we did stupid shit where we went on fourth down because we thought we could get it.
And then the only reason I would say that, though, Slick, is because, again, we have Tom Brady. We're good enough.
We had Tom Brady last time and we laid a goose egg and we lost 9-0.
I understand that, but, I mean, I feel more comfortable going for it than I would with any other quarterback.
No, you're absolutely right. But in this instance, when points are not on a premium, we will talk defensive game. It's gone around the clock on us.
Right.
It's a defensive game. You take that. You go into the half. If you kick those points and you get them, you go into that half as it was 3-3.
Oh, okay. Who's my game MVP? Ooh, that's a tough one. I guess you can't just pick the whole defense.
Jamal Dean.
Guess Jamal Dean. Yeah,
Jamal Dean killed it. He killed the game. What he did stalled the game. It was done. It was over once he got that ball. That was the knife. That was the twist. That was everything. That was your Game of Thrones Red Wedding. It was done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Winston. I mean, he helped us win. Yeah. Thank you, Jameis. Appreciate it.
I mean, technically, you're not wrong.
Yeah, got a point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat on mine. You ready? Because I'm a cheater. You know, like the Patriots and the Bounty Gate Saints. I'm a cheater. I'm gonna deflate the ball here and say, I don't want to give it to the whole defense. I do want to shout out Devin White, 11 tackles, 1 sack, 1, I think it was fumble recovery.
Yeah.
Force, yeah.
Or forced fumble, maybe. There's some, I'll say this, Todd Bowles and Leftwich, I give props because you could have hit that panic button at any time. You all, they both have been here through these struggles, even with Tom Brady against the Saints in the regular season. But they stayed the course, and I know this sounds cliche, but they said, okay, we're in a defensive slugfest, so they played a defensive slugfest. If anybody right now has any doubts in the Buccaneers defense as far as the overall unit's grade of being an A to A plus so far this season, you might not know what the hell you're talking about. Look what they did to the Cowboys with missing players. Look what they just did to the Saints with literally 5 starters missing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with
points in 2 games. You divide that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the steady, even hand of Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich. Even though I'm not going to lie, there was some calls where you scratch your head. But I think during the game, we were in the moment. You're emotional. So you step back and look at how the game played out. The Saints wanted to beat us down and have it be like a slobber knocker, and the Bucs said, "Okay, we'll kind of put Tom Brady in the bubble, protect him as we can, and we're going to pound you at Fournette even if it's not working." And you saw a Saints defense after that fight; they were tired, they were exhausted, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we out toughed them for that.
Yeah, out physical them, and that's something we haven't been able to say in a couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, guys. I'm about to head out. Thank you, Slick.
Translation. Jason just texted Marty and said he's on his way over.
Marty, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's happening?
What's going on, Marty?
No, I want to hop on here for a little bit and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, no, we're asking you about how much fun you're having. We're asking what you're doing.
No.
Yeah.
I'm drinking beer and
He's breaking up on us.
No, I got to be up early in the morning. I got obligations due, so I just want to hop on here for a little bit.
He says that like it just rolls off that tongue.
You hear that, Jason? You got to go home tonight because Marty's got to be up early. Hey, Marty, we appreciate you, brother, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate
everybody, you can find Marty Thursday nights with Ben and Johnny Dean and Alex Loosemore and a bunch of other chuckleheads. Thursday nights on NFL Edition, the same place you're watching all this. Tune in on Thursday nights. They're there.
Yeah, and
they're more serious.
And don't forget Sundays or whenever we play the post game show.
Yeah, the post game show. The post game show with Marty McFly. That's your new name because you're so fly.
It's funny because I was actually named after Marty McFly from Back to the Future. That's how I got my first name. So yep.
Everyone sat here like, yeah, we guessed. We figured that shit out.
Yeah, it's not.
Your parents watched a TV show of the movie and went, "I'll name that shit after that."
Yep. Well, thank you guys for having me on. I really had a lot of fun. I will catch y'all guys later.
All right, Marty. Have a good night.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Merry New Year.
Now it's just a freeway. Eiffel Tower.
Hey, wait. There's no effing way I'm the guy in the middle. I am not pulling Human Centipede here. Fuck that. We're live on YouTube and Twitter. You know why? Because we can get away with doing some of the stuff we're doing. And some of you tuning in for the first time might be going, well, this isn't very professional. Yeah, I know. Bite a hog. That's what I got to say. What was the final score of the game? Again, I forgot. Does anybody know?
20-10.
Oh, so we doubled their points.
Yep.
Yeah.
That means if they doubled, they'd only get a tie.
Well, I think it was Michael Thomas got a late touchdown, though. That's when we were up like 20-3. He got a late touchdown.
So 13 points divided by 2, like Slick said, that's 6.5.
Yeah.
So the Buccaneers are allowing 6.5 points a game. And how many did we get any turnovers against Dallas?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got one.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was Jamal. Was it Jamal Dean or was it? I know it's Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yeah.
Somebody. Yeah. So this team defensively is locked in.
Making the plays, guys. These are the kids making these plays on our defense when we got a really young secondary. I don't know if they're ready to cope. We need to bring a veteran. Spend lots of money and bring somebody in. It's like, no. Buccaneers trusted. Put their faith in the draft picks. And so far, right now, Jason Light sat there with a nice big stogie going, told you. And he's right.
Yeah. And what do you guys think of Bruce Arians being out there on the field? I don't know. I think from an optics standpoint, you think it undermines Todd Bowles, or is he just?
I think it's Bruce Arians just living out a fantasy. I mean, I'm nothing against the guy because he's Bruce Arians. He's a dude. Like, that guy's a straight up cat, and I think he'll never get taken off.
Yeah,
because
he looks a lot healthier.
Sorry,
he looks a lot healthier.
Yeah.
Every time he's coaching, he's like
careful anymore.
Yeah, every time he's coaching, I'm like, okay, we're gonna witness a guy have an aneurysm on the sideline, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But he was during that fight, he was giving the referees hell too all game. So here's what I totally get what Ben's saying.
Put a flag on him, though.
I totally get what you guys are just saying by having the former coach kind of standing behind the new coach. It's kind of like Darth Vader peering, or the Undertaker peering over the guy's shoulder. But I think that relationship with those guys, Bowles and Arians, it goes back like 3 or 4 decades, bro.
Yes, I think that you hit it on the head. Had it been just a guy that they hired, and then within 2 years, let's say it was Byron Leftwich that became the heir apparent, then you have a different conversation, because Byron Leftwich has only been a coach for 2 years, 3, 4 years in maximum, To have that kind of that guy over your shoulders is a little bit more. I mean, we know that they're tight, but it's a little bit more different when you have a person who's worked together for years and years and years. And we forget that Byron Leftwich has a Super Bowl as a player. Yeah, he was a backup, but he has a Super Bowl as a player because he was on a staff. He was on a team that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, that you're kind of like got semantics going on there, and I get it. I'm with you on that. What I want to point out is the length of this relationship between the two. It's not. We're not going to say it's before Facebook or social media or the internet or cell phones or texting. It was literally before cable television, people. Now, for most of the people watching this, yes, there didn't always used to be cable television.
It's the 80s, right? They got together in the 80s.
Well, yeah, dude, I believe they've known each other since the early to mid 80s, back at Temple University.
Yep.
I mean, and to go one step further, Bruce Arians used to babysit the Barber twins.
Yes, that's been well covered. So, yeah, Uncle Arians has been Unc Arians, as I like to call him now, because he is the Unc of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You don't realize this kind of stuff when you have a guy of that magnitude come and join your team, the quarterback whisperer or whatever people have dubbed him or what have you. He's just got a good vibe about that guy. Like, that guy just did not give a shit, and he doesn't care. That's the best part about him. Is like,
I've never seen Bruce Arians whisper.
Yeah, no. He's the quarterback yeller. There's probably it really should be a picture of somebody of him like this going, and some quarterback going, I just don't know. I don't know anymore.
Oh, and I have to point out on the broadcast, everybody, when Mike Evans was ejected and was walking out through the tunnel, and he stopped to give away some of his gloves and all the BS to some of the Bucs fans. So much respect. But as he continued past the Bucs fans to go in the tunnel, hey, Saints fans, really? You're going to spit on people? It's fucking 2022, bro. Grow the fuck up. Okay, look, if you're at a football game and your first inclination is to spit on anybody, let alone a player, you've had too much to drink and your life is fucking horrible. Your parents have failed you. I mean, we can say that just because you're a Saints fan, but you're spitting on people in 2022. Or let's go even further. You're spitting on somebody, period. Doesn't matter what year. Dude, the fact that Mike Evans didn't crawl up that wall and Johnny Manziel your ass onto the fucking carpet, Saints fans, you're spitting on people. And
it's fucking disgusting.
I mean, think about it, dude. Come on, grow the fuck up.
Especially when we're coming off of what happened the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Like, especially since fans have been allowed to return. What we've gone through, you know.
Exactly, and all your infinite wisdom.
Unacceptable.
Well, exactly. And first of all, New Orleans isn't exactly notorious for being the cleanest city. We're coming off a pandemic, and you're spitting on people in public. What are you, 5? Seriously? And if that was you, if you happen to be listening, and that was you, fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. If you spat on a human being just because what happened on a fucking football field, yeah, their tensions are high. Guess what? They've spent their entire fucking lives for these moments, and they're in rivalries. They're in fights for their life. Not say fight for their lives, but they're in fights for their fucking career, trying to build a fucking franchise, trying to build a fucking team, trying to fucking win a championship. And yeah, sometimes they do. Arguably, some people do stupid shit, but nobody, absolutely fucking nobody deserves to be spat at. That's the kind of shit you do to someone who's... It's like olden days when you find out someone's a fucking traitor to the fucking country or some shit. Like they fucking sold out the country or some shit.
It was so weird to me. I mean, I'll say this, and Ben knows this. I have engaged in my past in trolling activities. I have harassed people relentlessly on certain subjects here or there in my days.
You have a PhD.
I don't have a PhD, but you know what else I have? I have a little bit of a moral compass, bro. If you spit on me, dude, you're going to be lucky, you know, blah, blah, blah. I guess what the point is like...
Anything you can do, because it's one of those things, like, I try, like, as a father, right, and I don't know if Ben Cornett's a father, I have no idea, I know you are. When you're teaching your children right from wrong, one of the first things is you need to spit. It's because something in your mouth isn't right, like a taste, a texture, something. You need to get it out. You should, and it's considered rude to do it in front of people. It's considered rude to do it in front of people. So to do it at someone, physically at someone, is like the most disgusting thing you can do as a human being. I mean, there's probably other things you could do, but my point being is that in civilized culture, which is where we're supposed to be, we're in New Orleans. Let's scrap that. We'll go for a fish fry.
What's so infuriating about it is those people are only doing that from the safety of sitting in their seats, knowing Mike Evans or whoever they do it to can't come up in the stands without losing millions of dollars. So the point is, you're not going to do that to Mike Evans when you're face-to-face out in the real world. Why would you do it when you're hiding behind the fact that you're a fan in the stands and he can't do anything to you? It's a coward move.
Exactly.
Do you know who deserves to be spat on? Brutally and honestly, and I mean, I don't think really anyone deserves to be spat on, but anyone who deserves the smear, guys, we just had a guy who took fucking $5 million for fucking welfare from the poorest state in the fucking country.
Right, exactly. Hey,
Brett Favre, you took fucking $5 million.
Dude.
$5 million where you are in the poorest state where your water isn't considered fucking drinkable, but it's okay because you built a volleyball stadium because your daughter needed it.
Exactly. And that's my point. Like, some of this stuff is just, you have to point at it and go, that's fucked up.
What's really fucked up? Nick Wright actually had a fucking good point.
But who had a good point?
Nick Wright.
Wait, well, Nick Wright. Okay, so he finally got one. Oh,
yeah.
But here, back to the football aspect of it. Saints fans,
I get off fucking.
You're now 4-1 against us in the last 5 games. Okay, go ahead and lean on that. Don't spit. Don't talk trash. Cam Jordan, get off the internet whining. Marshawn Lattimore, how many times are you going to stud up on a Buccaneer and get laid out by Mike Evans before you learn? Okay? When you go after a quarterback of Mike Evans, whether it's Jameis Winston or Tom Brady, it's on site with Evans. He went all the way across the field and leveled you 4 or 5 years back. Today he came halfway across the field and literally put you horizontal in the air. Okay? Vince McMahon and Triple H are calling up Mike Evans right now saying, what are you doing after this football thing, buddy? So stop acting like an asshole. Quit, and this goes for all teams and all players. Quit chirping when on the field when you really didn't do anything. How many times are we going to see defensive backs celebrating an overthrown or underthrown ball? What the hell did you do, bro? I hate that shit.
Yeah, no, I think you've hit the nail on the head on that, because there is a lot of crap that goes down in these games and stuff. Look, we've been fortunate that we get to visit our Buccaneers and they are doing the right thing. We're not remember when we were penalized all the fucking time and all that ever happens, like, the Bucs penalties. That shit's not happening anymore. And it's because our young players have fucking finally learned how to play football, because it takes time. Can you remember when the likes of Colton Davis is a prime example of this, because he's a very handsy dude. He's figured out how to be handsy without being penalized, because he knows what he can and can't do, and it takes a minute.
Did you see Tom Brady ripping the offensive line's ass on TV today?
Oh, I saw him rip everyone's ass.
So if he does that
he looked pissed.
If he does that on TV out in the open, what's he do when no one's watching? Meaning, that's probably the reason the penalties have tightened up. Think about this, man. The last year with Jameis, Donovan Smith, and I think Ben can chime in on what's his take of this, because I want to hear it. Donovan Smith, as far as Bucs fans were concerned, should have been out the door with Jameis.
Yeah.
And then Brady gets here, and the next year, Donovan Smith looks like he could possibly be voted into the Pro Bowl with his play. So is it the Brady factor that this line ended up being so good the last couple of years? Is it sheer talent?
Absolutely, because it's real simple. Brady gets the ball out fast.
It's also hard. You don't want to disappoint the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the man back there. Like,
well, yeah, you get an ass reaming by Brady, it carries weight. If Jameis tried that, everybody roll their eyes.
It's not just that. The spotlight is on you, because when you let someone like James Winston get sacked, well, okay, you let James Winston get sacked. You let Tom Brady, who is technically NFL royalty right now, get sacked. Your lowlight reel is uploaded and everyone is going to talk about it, because it's Tom fucking Brady. Everything that guy does, anyone around him is going to have a spotlight on them, which is good and bad, because you make the plays, you make the catches, you're a king. You're the guy. Tom Brady trusts this guy. Tom Brady trusts that guy. Tom Brady trusts this guy. Tom Brady's line is on his soul, and they will protect him. Doesn't matter ill or death or anything. They will go and hunt people down. They will kill people. They will do everything to protect him. That's the level of command that he has of this fucking football team, especially on the offensive side. Defensively, it's a little different, but on this offensive side of the football, it lives and dies with Tom Brady. And that's the difference that we found in preseason, when we've had these games in preseason and we haven't seen much from the Buccaneers, and we're like, Buccaneers don't look that clever. When you're missing your key leader, the one that everyone listens, it doesn't matter. You can rip Tom Brady out and then don't dress the rest of the seniors. Guess how that's going to go down? It's going to go down like a lead balloon. Like, you can have guys on the sideline saying, "Oh yeah, I listen to Mike," or "I listen to this guy." If they're not in the thick of it with you, it's hard to take what they say literally. It's hard to take what they say actually, rather. So when you have a Tom Brady and he's like, guys, they said that we aren't good enough. They said our interior offensive line isn't good enough, and we're going to give up 5 sacks. Fucking prove them wrong. Guess what? Tom Brady just made you fucking block your heart out. That's facts. It just is what it is.
Well, of course it is. I mean, we're very fortunate that Tom Brady came to our organization. Think about that.
Yeah, sure. I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. I thought we were going to get Teddy Bridgewater.
But see, that's the thing. Remember the last play Jameis drove his career? It was a pick 6 in overtime against the Falcons.
Pick 6 in the flats, wasn't it?
Yeah. And we're thinking, and even Bruce Arians is like, oh boy. I don't even think, if we didn't get Brady, I don't even think Bruce Arians would have lasted that long, or Jason Light. They had to make a move like that. Otherwise, I think we would still be in the basement of the NFC South. I'm sorry, that's just facts. Brady turned our franchise around.
Yeah.
No matter what. I don't care if Bruce Arians or Jason Light, how good a job they did. If they didn't get Tom Brady, this team would still probably not even be a playoff team. That's just the simple facts.
Ben, you're absolutely right, because let's talk about the whole fact that they all talk about the Brady factor, blah, 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 blah. But the Brady factor does exist because it took it got us a Antonio Brown. In that first year, he was great. So we can't argue that what he did in the playoffs for us, he was money when he needed to be. Secondly, we go into the next part of this. Leonard Fournette comes available. Do you think the Buccaneers get Leonard Fournette if Tom Brady isn't at the helm? Because he gets to shop around. I'm not saying we wouldn't have got him. I'm just saying he gets to shop around and he's there pointing at teams going, we don't know who really approached him. It's not that X-ray level that we know that kind of information. We know the Buccaneers approached him and Tom Brady wanted him. We know that.
Right.
You think the Buccaneers get Leonard Fournette, they get a Antonio Brown, and they go a Gronk for this offense? The defense will sound like, I would say Tom Brady's not going to go and get you a lot of defensive football plays. He might get you one, but he's not going to, because he's not a defensive-minded player.
Yeah.
Offensive guys go. Yeah. And that's my point, is like, it's not just what Tom Brady brought to the team in the sense of his leadership and his skill set. It's what he brought around him as well. It's like we all of a sudden went and got ourselves a 2-headed beast on the run game. Like, we didn't know that we had to build Leonard Fournette into the monster that he became. Like no, I'm not discounting that he was a nobody in Jacksonville, because he wasn't. But he came to a team where he had to fight for his position, and now he solidified that position. Then you go and bring in a guy who gave us a bit of depth in the receiver position. So when a Godwin had that pinned finger, we were able to do a few more things. And it really makes a difference. And then you had Gronk. And Gronk, it took him a while to get going, but his blocking prowess, no one can doubt. Once he got to about that week, once we got past that Chicago game in the Super Bowl season,
yeah,
he came lights out, and he started to grow and grow into the Gronk that we know. Got that right.
Hey, Slick, listen, people will compare him to Michael Jordan, right? And I suppose that's fair. But I always look at Tom Brady like a Kobe. Kobe is obsessed. He was always quiet, always focused, didn't always joke around. Brady can joke around a little bit, but he always has that focus, dude. Like, it's never good enough. He has to get better no matter what. That's the Mamba mentality. Always trying to get better no matter how great you are, no matter how many titles you've won. It's like, it's not good enough. I got to do more. And that's what Brady is. He's like that Kobe for us. He makes everyone around him better, and he just wants to keep winning. He wants to keep getting better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with the whole Tom Brady factor, or whatever you want to call it, is Tom Brady's smart enough to realize what he needs, and people can turn around and go, "Oh, Tom Brady needs a really good defense." Do you know what it is? Do you know really what it is? Tom Brady realizes to win a championship, you need a really good defense and a really good offense.
Well, also, Slick, the money. He's taking pay cuts.
He's never technically taken an actual pay cut.
No, but I mean, he could get more money.
No. I know what you're saying. And I just wanted to reiterate that point. Like, he hasn't taken an actual pay cut, but he does probably, like, in career earnings, probably earn less than an Aaron Rodgers or a Drew Brees, who's been in the same kind of tenure. So your point is very valid. What I just wanted to say that he may not take a pay cut in the sense of, but he understands that if he takes guaranteed money, and it's the same with Mike Evans, that takes some balls, because, like, it shows how much they care about their team, because anybody can do it. Anyone across the league can do that. It's not just, and we only hear about, I would say, across 32 teams, I would say there's probably less than 32 players across the league that do deals like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Each one of those teams is holding a 53-man squad. So that just tells you. And you see when you hear about these quarterbacks that get onto this one, we're going to hear about this with Lamar Jackson, about how he's going to get paid, and other guys who are going to come up with him, who are in that kind of echelon of talent level, I guess. That some players turn around and go, "I want to break the bank," and it's like, that's great, but you probably won't win a championship, because that break the bank mentality doesn't always work, because you're taking a chunk of a salary cap, and by doing so, you allow everyone else around you to be weaker, because your team is unless they draft incredibly well, they are having to take cheaper contracts. Now, unless you are the place to be, which is what Tom Brady brings to the conversation, you're allowed to kind of bring down the salary cap a little bit, because if Tom Brady turns around and goes, "Well, dude, I only earn $25 million a year," or whatever, no one can turn around and go, "Well, I deserve this," because it's the GOAT. And we know that through NFL experience and his peers, he is the GOAT to them too. It's not like it's he sat there and everyone's like, he's an imposter, he sneaked in. Not one NFL player, maybe one or two, but for the most part, the majority of NFL players believe he's the GOAT. He's the Messiah. Right. He is God of, like, when God came down and made football, he designed Jesus, and Jesus was meant to be Tom Brady. And that's it. And that's how everyone sees Tom Brady. Well, for the most part.
Well, it's funny, Slick, because today I was on Facebook, after the game. I had my post and everything, and there's so many Bucs fans that are saying, "Oh yeah, well, they would have Lattimore would have swung at Tom Brady." I'm like, come on, guys. You really think he's going to take a swing at Tom Brady? Come on. Of all people, you think he's really going to take a swing at him?
I mean, he could, but I don't see it happening.
No.
I don't think you get the chance. I think someone like Mike Evans, or Leonard Fournette, or an O-lineman would get there before it even happened. Like, he would get put on his ass before. Think of it like a famous celebrity is walking out of a club, and a couple of people want to get an autograph or a picture or what have you, and then the fucking bodyguards just go. That's what will happen, because that's the vibe.
Yeah, but I don't really think he's going to take a swing at him. Come on. I mean, I think that's just some of the fans just being ridiculous, in my opinion, anyway. But no, he's all talk. That's what Lattimore is. He's tries to get inside your head, and he's gotten inside Evans' head, and he still has. I hate to say it.
I mean, I would say
owns Mike Evans.
Yeah, Ben, you're absolutely right, because over the years, like, as much as we can turn around and say, we can all sit here and say, "Oh yeah," when it comes to altercations, Mike Evans is like 4-0. He's never lost an altercation. But how many times has he won on the field versus Marshawn? Maybe once or twice. So
but that's how you got to shut up Marshawn Lattimore. You have to outplay him.
And I think that's what the Bucs did. They took him out of the game in a different way. I mean, they didn't mean to do it, but it just kind of fell in their lap.
No, but I'm talking about just one-on-one in every Bucs Saints matchup. If you're going to shut Lattimore up, you need to outplay him. You need to get the ball. You need to not. He's still in your head. He's still going to keep talking shit. It's not going to change until Mike Evans, not physically, not with fist, not with cheap shots, but getting touchdowns on him, having big games on him, football stat wise, that will slow down Lattimore and get him to not talk so much, in my opinion.
Hey, it always gets quiet when you're looking down at your shoes and you're down by 20 or you're down by 15.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. You can talk back, but it's hard because your words have no meaning. And it's like, dude, we're playing with you. We're playing with you. Right. You can see on the Buccaneers side of things, Devon White's a talker. That's his vibe, and it's extremely entertaining. Some people could argue it's a little frustrating when we're not doing too well, but he tends to not talk as much when we're not doing too well. But he's a talker, and it's a good point for him. It's a good point for his brand, and it makes the broadcast more entertaining when he has that vibe. I mean, he comes out and says, "Oh well, we know what we know what Winston's all about. We know that when he was last with us, he coughed up 30. We knew if we just stayed with him, we'll get ours, and the running backs will cough it up." And and I know he's just talking football. I know he's talking a little trash in that, but that's just football, man. And Marshawn Lattimore, he's had the rub of the green when it comes to Mike Evans. Mike Evans has never been. That's his kryptonite. There's only one DB you can turn around and say that lives in Mike Evans' head rent free, and that is Marshawn Lattimore, because it ain't no Aaron. It ain't no I was gonna say Aaron, Jalen Ramsey. It ain't these big names, like super big names.
Right.
There are bigger names out in football than Marshawn Lattimore. As Marshawn Lattimore goes, he's an extremely talented. He's top 10. I'll put him in the top 10. He can creep into the top 5 now and again, but
that's fair. That's fair.
Mike Evans is in the same bracket as receiver in stature. I'm talking in stature, not how Buccaneers fans, how we feel about him, because I personally think Mike Evans is an elite wide receiver at what he does, and no one else can replicate what he does, because he does something that no one else can do. That's why he has his accolades. The difference is everyone looks at the complete level of a wide receiver, that break in, that break out, that little shimmy, that second move, that the hands, all that kind of stuff. Some of that makes someone like Chris Godwin is extremely talented at. I've heard Buccaneers fans say, "Well, let's move on from Mike Evans and go full hardly into."
No, you can't do that. No,
because
they bring not. Special. They have a different set of talent. It's a different type of.
This is what I'm saying, Ben. Yeah. I don't know if you agree with me. Mike Evans' skill set is elite because no one else can replicate it. He's the only one that does it. That leaping into the sky, just plucking a ball down. That guy is playing tight end outside the numbers or just slightly inside the numbers. No one does that with his speed. Yeah. He's not meant to be fast, but he beats people like Jalen Ramsey. He's not meant to beat people like Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's supposed to be able to fucking beat him any day of the week, but he doesn't, because...
Well, that depends on the play calling, though. Evans is more, again, that one play last year in the championship game, Ramsey kind of took his eyes off the ball. He cheated. He went forward to...
That's his fault.
And then Evans... Yeah. But... Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say Evans
he got caught
Ramsey there. He didn't outdo Ramsey there. It was Ramsey made a mistake, and Brady was smart enough to find, okay, look, I could get that ball to him. And because Ramsey played off of Evans a little bit, got caught.
I agree with what you're saying. I think the thing with Mike Evans is he is more deceptive. Like he was probably thinking he could play underneath and snag that motherfucker. But Mike Evans is a little bit faster than he can. I think Mike Evans can speed up when he needs to. And that's what he did in that particular play, was he throttled down and sped back up, which allowed someone like a Jalen Ramsey to make that double take and go, right, I'm going to pick this bitch off. And then it goes over his head, because there was no bracketing safety on that. That was a running motherfucker. I mean, there was nothing on that. That was a poor decision by Ramsey, and that's football. Football is about that.
Yeah.
And that's something in Mike Evans' repertoire is that deceptive speed. That he's not fast. Like we've seen his 40 numbers. We've seen how fast he's a slow as number one wide receivers go. He's not the quickest, but he has got a quick. Sorry, he's not the fastest, but he's got a quickness in his step that allows him to create that little bit of separation because people think they can beat him because he's not fast. So they bite that underneath route and they take the tease, and then he just accelerates and it's in the hands.
But that's why Lattimore is so good against Evans because he goes right up to him.
Exactly, because he knows, and Mike Evans is really good at the attack of the line of scrimmage, and there's only one guy who's ever really been and had his number. It's Marshawn Lattimore.
Right.
Marshawn Lattimore has Mike Evans' number. He always has.
Yeah.
And I just don't. It's a mindset thing. Like in my last show, I had a Saints fan come in, and he was talking on like how much is the Buccaneers losing because on paper you guys are better than us. Is a mindset thing. And when I was watching that first half, I was like, this is fucking mindset because all I can see is drop passes. I can see just no zip except for in the defense. Like I'm only talking offense here because that defense howled and howled and howled. You can't argue with it.
Right.
And now the Buccaneers finally get over this hump. They finally. I mean that in the sense of like, it's not the playoffs. Playoffs is a different breed.
Right.
But on a regular season in the Caesar Dome, you go there. I mean, the Buccaneers were favorites. They were favorites.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say deservedly so because our track record disputes that.
Mm-hmm.
It completely disputes that. However, the Buccaneers prevailed. We did what we did. How much does this go into the Buccaneers psyche of, wow, we the guys, we're the Bucs?
I think it helps a lot. It really does, Slick, because now going forward, okay, we finally got over that hurdle. You know, now we got that win. Now let's sweep them. Let's sweep them the next time. But let's not look ahead. We got other opponents first. But
no, I'm not talking about like I'm going into the next opponent, which is Green Bay, when they come to us. But how much confidence does that set that defense, especially the defense, more than anything? The offense probably feels a little lethargic because they've only scored 2 touchdowns in 2 games, but they have gone against very good opponents with good defenses.
Yeah. Well, and also you got to worry. We may be looking at a possible suspension for Mike Evans for a game. So offensively, we may still be a little bit at a disadvantage, but I'm confident enough right now that our defense is going to win us games, no matter who we play.
So let me ask you, Ben Cornett. Corey Brown makes a great point. The Bucs didn't really stop Mark Ingram running the football, and he ran it in the middle a lot. It wasn't like outside runs. It was always down the middle. They had a design thing that they were going to do to Vita Vea. You could see that. It was... Right,
and Corey, they double-teamed Vea on a couple of plays there where they had 2 guys block Vea. So that made it easier for Ingram to get those holes to run through.
And I thought the Buccaneers countered it by figuring out what to do with their linebackers. Because okay, you double team this guy, but now you're freeing up your team. You're allowing my Mike or my inside linebackers to go and tee off on whoever's going to come through the middle. And occasionally, occasionally he's going to squirt out the ball and he's going to peel off a couple of yards. But again, we saw what happened. He got free, and then a person like Logan Ryan pops the ball out. So Logan Ryan,
well, he
pops
did
the ball out, and
Another thing I was impressed with was at first, remember when Taysom Hill had that big run?
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay. Now, I was on Twitter. I said, Todd Bowles, pay attention. If he's ever at center, you know what they're going to do. He's going to run the ball.
Yeah.
So next time, stack the deck. Guess what? Hill ran the ball again, and he got stopped. Stack the deck. That's what they're trying to do. Hill's not going to pass the ball. He's going to run. He's going to try to run the ball in. And Todd Bowles, that was a nice adjustment. I thought, okay, good job, Todd. Nice adjustment. Now, Tayton, and I don't think they used that play the rest of the game. because the Bucs figured it out. So those were little things that I liked what Bulls and that defense did today. They made those adjustments. And we didn't see that in other previous games. They just kept being stubborn and using the same defense. But this time, Bulls
especially against the Saints. Especially against the Saints, we're kind of. When I've watched other games the Buccaneers have played, Todd Bowles has his thing where he tries to feel out his opponent, and then once he feels like and it usually takes the second half. Second half is his thing. I've always found that with Todd Bowles. If his defense is dominant, it's dominant. That's the end of discussion. But if his defense isn't dominant, he gets that halftime, and it's almost like they come out and go, we'd like to think they have a good talking to, but realistically, he's probably looking at what are the things that aren't going right for us. And when I talk adjustments, and I want to just hit on adjustments because people seem to think adjustments are this big thing. They really aren't. I've been adjusting football for 2 years now as a defensive coordinator. And yeah, I coach at a very low level. That's fair enough. But people like Peyton Manning have come out and said, your adjustments are little things. It's things like to your alignment. It's things like you turn around to your wide receiver and say, right, when you run your 4-yard slant, instead of running it 4, I want you to run 3 and then flick that hip and then cut in. That's an adjustment. So people talk like adjustments means they completely change their defense. It doesn't. What you're doing is taking your base defense and just adding a little bit here and a little bit there that's different.
Right, you're adjusting the formation of your defense. That's
exactly.
What you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly. Because a lot of people seem to think you just change everything. It's like you can't do that because that's your philosophy is this defense. Your base is this defense. You can't win championships by changing your defense to suit the offense that you're playing with all the time. What you do is you take what you're good at and alter it to a level where it can go up against their offense. So let's say their offense is a really good 4-4 killer. So what you end up doing is, okay, well, we're not going to turn into a 4-4 killer. We're not going to be a 4-4. We'll still be a 4-4 at heart. And what we're going to do is we're going to have that nickel and dime package. And now we become a 3-3 stack.
Yeah.
But we haven't changed our philosophy in coaching because we're exactly the same.
Right. You're just moving the pieces. It's like chess. You're just moving the pieces around.
Exactly. But people seem to think when they go to halftime adjustments that they change everything. They don't. They stick to the bread and butter because the bread and butter is what got them there. Now, occasionally, they will get a chance to look at the screens and the pads and what have you and go, right, this isn't working. This isn't working. This isn't working. This is giving us something. Let's try a bit more of that. Let's try these plays that haven't done well in practice just to see how they go against this team and just see what sticks. And eventually they kind of work it out. Todd Bowles has been so far, in my opinion, a master at getting to that halftime adjustment from a defensive standpoint where he can figure out what a team's trying to do to him. So he adjusts his chess pieces. And you can see this. The Buccaneers don't have the injuries right now that they had on the defensive side of the football. It's all offensive side of the football, actually.
Exactly. Yep. That's been a big difference, Slick, because our safeties have been healthy for them.
That DB call. I mean, you've got to remember we're going into that game with Richard Sherman against. Give me a second. New England, and that guy had to start, and people were like, "Oh, he's not playing well." I'm like, "This cat just walked into the team. You can't expect him to play. You can't. This isn't Madden.
Yeah."
Exactly. He's not just a number on a board. He is a human being. He's got to figure out that playbook. He's got to learn stuff. It takes him a minute, and I think he did a passable job personally. I never had a problem with what he was doing. I was actually really impressed with what he did.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers, it's harder to adjust when your core guys are out. How do you adjust when the smartest guys in the room are the most injured guys?
Right. Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough because they're the signal callers, and if you're not getting that signal caller on the field, then somebody else is who doesn't have that experience or enough reps to do what the guy you're replacing with. And it's adjusting. It's hard to adjust on a game. During the game.
Just on the game, imagine adjusting with a defensive back group where your two corners are Joe Nobody. Right. And I don't want to be disrespectful. And if you have ever been a corner on the Buccaneers and you're watching this, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm just talking in terms.
Mm.
And what I mean by that, it's just difficult to be able to go, right, you're asking so much of these guys. Now you're asking to do something above and beyond that they weren't even close to capable of.
Right.
Or they're capable of it, but it's going to take a minute. Then they're not a Colton Davis. They're not a Jamal Dean. And we've been blessed in a way. I'm not very religious, I'd like to point out. We've been blessed in a way that our defensive back group has been kind of core all the way through for quite a while. It's been the same kind of group of guys. We've lost a guy here and we lost a guy there, but it's been the same kind of makeup of this Buccaneers defensive back unit.
Well, yeah, because Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, Mike Edwards, Murphy Bunning, they've all were drafted by the Bucs.
Yep.
So they've been here since day one. So that's really been helpful.
Yep. I mean, you can argue all four defensive back positions. It depends on the but I mean, the Buccaneers probably play a one high more than anything. But logically, in a traditional defense, you've got two. You've got that's the makeup. You've got Jamal Dean on one side, you've got Colton Davis on the other, and then you've got the two guys in Mike Edwards and Antoine Winfield Jr. for a safety position, and then you can get one of those to come bite down. The one thing that he did, and then I take my hat off to Bowles, is the delayed blitzes. Yeah. They were so smartly done between him and Levante, and I mean in Devin White on this, is that whole stutter step, and they were both doing it. How do you know who the fuck's going to blitz when they both can do it? I mean, I would guess Devin more than Levante, because Devin's always been... he had 9 sacks in one season at one point. So
and Devin's more faster than Levante. His breakaway
he even said in an interview, I believe it was with Cam Jordan, actually, surprisingly, in Trust Levels. And he's like, how do you feel about having that guy? And he's like, that guy, Devin White, is an absolute beast. He's so quick. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are quick. And he went, dude, there was a game where we played and I saw him go past me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to get faster. And he just saw Devin White go past him.
Yeah, I mean, Devin's really gotten better. And I still see a little Quan Alexander in him, where he's going to miss a few tackles here and there.
Because that was very error apparent in this game in particular, wasn't it?
And there was a lot of and it's aggressiveness. I understand. And like you said, you made a good point. You told me the other day you don't want him to lose his aggressiveness and stuff like that. So you're going to see those every now and then. But it's definitely been better this year than previous years.
The thing when it comes to hits, and this is something I coach myself, the more aggressive you are, the less accurate usually you are. Right? If your goal is just to get them on the floor, just to get them down, you're probably going to make the tackle more than if you want to punish that guy. Like, you want to really lick him hard. And that's the difference. You need to learn, because Levante David is a master at this. You need to learn when you're one-on-one and you know you can get that lick. Like, you know you're going to smack him. And that's when you can go full hard at it. Younger guys, it takes them a minute to figure out. They go, maybe I'll just get, this is behind the line of scrimmage. He's protecting the ball. Let's just tackle him and get it done with. But they want to get the lick in because they want the accolade of bang. You know what I mean?
I got him and stuff, but no.
Yeah. But the more aggressive tackles usually have less wrap of the arms.
Mm-hmm.
So the arms aren't secure. It's using that pop at the shoulder and try and take them down. And the arm is kind of lazy and it kind of ends up groping across the chest and it doesn't really do anything. We call those arm tackles.
Yeah.
You want your players to be aggressive where the arms shoot up and wrap around. We call that hawk tackling, which is developed by the Seattle Seahawks. And someone like Levante David is an absolute master of just wrapping people up and rolling them, crocodile rolling them to the ground.
Yeah. And channel your aggressiveness, too. That's the other thing. Channel that aggressiveness.
Exactly. There's a time and a place for it. And Levante David is a master of knowing when to get that chopping arm in and rake it out and when to just wrap up and roll and get the guy just done. If you're behind the line of scrimmage and you get a clean shot at the ball, then go for and you know you got backup. And that's difficult to learn. You know you got backup. or you got a clean shot on the ball, so you reckon you can get that ball out, then you go for it. You don't go for it when there's a lot of people around, and if you don't get it, he could squirt through and gain stuff. But that will come. I honestly believe that will come. But there's one thing that Lavonte David has always been good at is his tackle accuracy.
Yeah, because he's so smart, so instinctive too. And that's another. I don't think people give Lavonte enough credit for his instincts. He's got great defensive instincts. I mean, those are some things you can't teach. He knows where to be, where the ball. I'm trying to think. He has a mind for it, like no other.
He's that old school see ball, run, take ball, or hit ball. That's it. He's zoned in.
Yeah, he's got his own special kind of linebacker. He could do most things others can't. And sometimes you're born with that athleticism combined with that, those football smarts, because some guys have football smarts and then some guys have just great talent, all around talent and athleticism. But rarely do you have somebody that has all that molded into one. And that, to me, that's Lavonte.
Yeah.
That's just my, that's what makes him so good.
Let's go around the comments, and we got Bucs time 12. Everyone dropping passes. It was a little frustrating at times to see a lot of people dropping passes. And I think it's a little bit of a mindset thing, like that whole can we beat the Saints, and that doubt kind of creeps into it. I do believe, and I now really feel that the culture of losing is something that Steve Smith Sr. Is it Steve Smith Sr. or Steve Smith Jr.? The one that used to play for Carolina. He said losing is like being around smokers. So you hang out with a smoker, chill out, you sup in some cocktails, you're hanging out, you're spending all day together, and then you go home and you don't realize that smoking stink is on you. That's losing. And it's hard to get rid of because you don't realize it's on you. That's and what he's alluding to is it's a mental mindset. And I think that's why I felt this game was a boom or bust, because the Buccaneers win this, it really catapults the season. It should catapult the season further, because you've beaten somebody that you have been unable to beat since Brady has set foot in the building. Now you have that accolade. Now you're like, wow, we beat a team when we really were like on the rope, because that game was on the ropes at all times. And no one really looked like they were comfortable in that game until the Buccaneers started to make those plays.
I thought it was after that fight.
Yeah.
That's what the Bucs were like, okay.
Bucs leadership rallied.
Yeah.
The defense just needed to carry on doing what it was doing, but the offense, and I think that's the Tom Brady factor, is he's come in and gone, right, guys, what we do now, whoever reacts to this fight is going to win this game. If you're going to sit there and dwell on it too much and get too pissed off about it, you're probably going to make stupid plays. But
I thought the defense took that to stride as well, because they got even more aggressive. And then, that's when Jamel Dean had the pick six, and that just changed everything around. So,
GB and Green Bay isn't scoring 17 next week. I don't think they will. What receivers have they got? Like you're matching up our wide receivers against their wide receivers against our DBs. We went against a team that has Jarvis Landry, who is an ex-Pro Bowler. They have Chris Olave, who's an emerging rookie. Michael Thomas as well. Then you go to a Randall Cobb who hasn't done anything in the last 5 years. I'm not saying it's not possible. What I'm saying is it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to be able. Their biggest threat to me is probably Rob Tonyan. From the passing attack. They just don't really have a solidified number one, number two that they are comfortable with, that he's comfortable with. Don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers will sling the rock when he needs to, but that offensive line isn't as good as it was, and we saw what we could do when we have a moment. We did it when we went against the Cowboys, and their offensive line isn't what it was. Then we travel to the New Orleans Saints, and their offensive line isn't what it was, and we harassed Jameis Winston. We made Jameis Winston play Jameis Winston football.
We're going to more the second half. The first half, they did move the ball around pretty good.
He had it. To be honest, I was really worried when they got 3 points. I was like, damn, they should have got a touchdown.
Yeah,
I'd be gutted.
Was
if
actually
that drive was that good, it deserved a touchdown. Like if I'm a Saints fan, that's a touchdown fucking drive. That was a touchdown drive. How it wasn't, I don't know.
Jameis got the ball out fast, which kind of surprised me. He got it out faster than normal, but then, like I said, Bulls changed, adjusted a little bit. Put better defensive schemes in there. They blitzed more, like
I think they played more zone in the beginning.
Zone in the beginning,
feel him out.
Just feel him out, and then the delayed blitz. I mean, it really got to Jameis, and that's where he became Jameis. He threw those, overthrew and panicked, and that's what happened. That was it.
And he did what Jameis Winston always does. Eventually, and that's why he's one of those players that people are like, do you trust him with your franchise, or do you just have him as a backup? Because we know he can win, because he can. But can he win consistently, which is what you want from a franchise quarterback? And that's yet to be seen, because he's never really had the opportunity. Like, is he a dark horse for the MVP? Like a couple of people said, it's possible. Well, not right now, he's not. But at the beginning of the season, with the season he had before, you could argue it. But you could argue that all the way through his tenure with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that he was always a dark horse MVP, because he had the ability to throw those touchdowns. His problem was he just does not see that lurking defender that just pops up and snags that ball. He just doesn't see it. He's zeroed in on his wide receiver so hard, he forgets.
He still can't read defenses, and he holds the ball too long. That's why guys like Donovan Smith struggled, because they had to block for like more than 5 seconds when Jameis was holding on to the ball or running around the back. I mean,
the Buccaneers got him to play Jameis Winston football, because at the start he was playing that Saints Jameis Winston football that did him really well to begin with when he first got there. And then as the game got on and the game started to get out of hand and he had to start catching up with points, he started to take the risks that Jameis Winston's accustomed to taking, because guess what? When he was at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he had to take those risks. He felt he had to take those risks because he felt it was all on his shoulders. And once you get Jameis Winston thinking this game is all him, that's when you can do the deadly shit.
Yep, that's right.
So Bucs time. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Slick, I'm going to head out because I got to do some stuff. But
I got to go to bed soon.
I appreciate you having me on, and we'll do this again sometime, man.
Yes, sir. All right, Ben, tell us where we can catch you at, because I know you do a little thing called NFL Edition on Thursday nights. Tell me a little bit about NFL Edition, and tell out everyone else.
Well, I'll tell you what, Slick. NFL Edition, bro, it's every Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Twitter, for Bucs Report. Think of it as old school. Remember the movie Old School with Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn? You got these older guys trying to be cool and hip and stuff like that. It's kind of like a fraternity, We just rip it and talk about the NFL, and we do it in a comedic way and stuff. We could be serious as well, but mostly we're just being ourselves and being joking around.
Four guys with beers, just having a good time.
Exactly. That's what it is.
I've been on NFL Edition. I'll point out, I've been on NFL Edition before, and it's much wilder than Book Wild for sure. It's a good fun vibe if you just want to just sit, talk ball, and it's ball. It's not Buccaneer ball. It's not this team's ball. It's just ball in general. So you get to talk ball, and have a lot of fun. I do believe my sons have popped up. So yeah, Ben, thank you for coming on, brother. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, sir. And you guys have a good night, okay?
All right. So I got my son who's just popped up, and he's just woke up. So I do apologize. I'm going to have to cut this thing short because he probably wants to go to bed. All right, guys. Much appreciated for coming on. I'm just going to quickly go through the comments. Bucs time 12. We are using safeties instead of cornerbacks as our nickel and dime group, because safeties can match up. They really can, because they're a thicker body. They're usually a little bit more grittier. Corners can be a little bit. It depends on the type of corner you get, because there's a slot corner, which is a nickel basically, or a dime. But it's never been set that it should be a cornerback. It's always a defensive back. So if you got a hybrid dude, that's exactly who you want. Someone like a Antoine Winfield Jr. fits the profile perfectly because he's got that thicker body, but at the same time he's a little guy. He's got that speed and he's got that swagger. So that's why I would go with someone like that. It's all about what you can find in your team. We are using safeties what our corners used to do. We have great safeties. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. I just want to pump my son up because he's wearing the shades of glory. Look at that. What a dude. There's my bub. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to get from our guys. We want just fight. I just want to see this defense fight, and that's what we're getting. We're getting a freaking fight from our defense. I'm still waiting to see cornerback Zion McCullum play. You know what? I want to see him play because guess what? Next year, you're going to make it. The Buccaneers going to make a decision on who they're keeping. Buccaneers got to decide because Jamal Dean and Mike Edwards and Sean Murphy-Bunting are all up. So I want to see a Zion McCullum step up into a slot role, and I want to keep. I mean, if that cat keeps picking them balls off, you're gonna stay. And Jamal Dean, I want to keep him. Mike Edwards, I think they'll probably try and get a free agent and all the free agents that they currently have to kind of fill that role, but we'll see. Because the year after that, you got Lavonte David and you got Devin White, both up for contracts. Imagine if Lavonte David had Devin White's speed low. And it's not like Lavonte David looks slow. He's always been considered a quick linebacker. He just doesn't look as quick as Devin. Yeah, I mean, you could say that about anyone, really. I mean, if you take this person's this and that person's that and this person's this, you get the perfect player. Let me raise you this, Bucs Time 12. Imagine if Devin White had Lavonte David's skill set. Imagine that. Not the speed, the skill set, that level of tackling. Because Lavonte David doesn't pull off tackles very often. Devin White does. So, and Devin White's still got stuff to learn. JTS and Devin White suffer from too much speed at times. Yeah, I mean, how much is too much speed? I mean, you can't cap them and turn around and go, dude, you can only go like 50%, otherwise this and this is going to happen. You've got to have that speed, and that speed helps their game. So I agree with, I get what you're saying, but I disagree with the fact it looks like they suffer with too much speed, but that speed helps whatever they do. Like, do you think Devin White has the sacks and the accolades that he has because he's slow? No, it's because he's fast. So I disagree. I disagree with that. Sometimes it can look like it, and it can come back to bite you in the ass.
And I'm even strong.
And my son's apparently very strong. Are you very strong?
Yeah.
You a dude?
Yeah.
You gonna wear you say go Bucs?
Yeah.
Say it.
Bucs.
Oh, say go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
You in bed, or are you gonna stay with me?
Curtains on.
Okay. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in today. I am done. It is 4:19 in the morning here in the UK, so I gotta be up with these cats, these little buggers. We do have the death of the Queen. It is her funeral tomorrow, so.
And my sister's nervous.
Exactly. And hey, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Stevie Slick 14, you can catch these two cats getting game day ready. So guys, come and get game day ready with us. These videos that I'm doing at the moment have all been about us getting game day ready. So please come and watch us. Please like, subscribe, and share. It's much appreciated. I hope you've had a good time, and we whooped that Saints ass. So without further ado, go Bucs, baby.
Go Bucs.
Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!